past couple of days that 25 years in 1987, the Lord called me, and he showed me a piece of glory. But if I'd known the next 25 years were going to be kind of the opposite of that piece of glory, that the tests were going to be more than I could endure at times, more than I would wish on anybody, but more than I wouldn't take anything for the experience. When you go through tests so severe that people mock you, you walk in derision daily, or people look at you and say, I don't understand why you choose this path. It's a lot easier over here on the path where the rest of us are. And you say, it's the path that God's got me on for this moment in time. And whatever the path the Lord chooses for me, his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And once you've traveled that path and know that God's in charge, and you trust him in every step you take, and you finally make it to your destination, you look back, and even when you're on your way and you haven't made it to your destination, and you look back over the trail and you say, Lord, it's been an experience. Lord, I couldn't have made it one step without you. Lord, I couldn't have made it 1 year without you. And you look back over the multitude of years. You look back at the joy and the fun that you've had over the years. You look back over your children's lives and your grandchildren, and you say, Lord, how did we make it? Without you, there wasn't any way possible. But each day with the Lord is always a day of goodness and a day of fulfillment of possibilities because of how much he loves us. Goes on and says, and where I'm at here in Joel, it says, okay, the crawling locust, the consuming locust, the chewing locust, my great army which I send among you, you shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, who has dealt wondrously with you. And my people shall never be put to shame. Then you shall know that I am in the midst of Israel. I am the Lord your God, and there is no other. My people shall never be put to shame. Goes on in 28 to 32, and he says, this is the day that we're coming upon. These are the days ahead where God's Spirit is being poured out into the earth, where his glory is being released into the earth at this moment in time. 2014 is a day and time and season for the release of the glory of God into the earth. We, as the saints of the Most High God, who have been given the authority to speak forth blessings and encouragement and love into everything we encounter, if we take the time to do it, we're going to be blessed, and our families are going to be blessed from being around us. It says, and afterward I shall come to pass, this is in 28, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my Spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. And also on my men servants and on my maid servants I will pour out my Spirit in those days. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord. And it shall come to pass that whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem there shall be deliverance, as the Lord has said, among the remnant whom the Lord calls. We are the ones that the Lord calls. If you've gone through the tests, if you've been purified, if you've been that piece of sand in the oyster shell that's grated and irritated the oyster until it becomes that beautiful pearl that God created it to be. Know that God has great plans for you in the days ahead. And we go from Jeremiah to Joel to John. John 13:31. So when he had gone out, Jesus said, now the Son of Man is glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and glorify him immediately. Little children, I shall be with you a little while longer. You will seek me, and as I said to the Jews, where I am going, you cannot come. So now I say to you, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another as I have loved you, that you also love one another. By this all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. Show love this year in 2014. Let go of any of the anger or resentment or bitterness or brokenness of heart that we ended 2013 with. Let it go. Just say, I'm not going to be pulled down by these frustrations of the heart in 2014. I'm not going to be bitter. I'm going to walk in forgiveness. I'm going to share love with everyone I come in contact with. I'm not going to show anger at someone because they don't go to my church, or they're not the same color as me, or they're not they don't believe the way I believe. I'm going to share love wherever I go. And it's through this love, through this light that shines forth within us when we are children of God. It's that light of love that will attract the many to us, the body of Christ. These are great days ahead for the body of Christ.